Hi everyone, this is just going to be a short tutorial on how to get started with VRoid Studio, the stable edition, and how to make a really basic model without any sort of custom texturing or anything like that. This is just to get people acquainted with and sort of comfortable using VRoid Studio, which you can get for free on their website or to download via Steam. And let's get started with the video. So we're going to start by going to the Create New button, which will give us a choice between two bodies. The only actual difference between these two models is the preset like chest size and things like that, which we can change at any time anyway in case you wanted to make a more androgynous character. When that loads in, we have our basic character. So they've got the white t-shirt and black shorts. Now, one thing I like to do, and I like to teach people how to do, is to get rid of this weird white glow that is around the model from the very beginning. You can see it at the top of the head here. It's just sort of like a backlighting and it looks very strange and plasticky. So if we click on the Look tab and click on Rim Light, we can then take the intensity of these sliders all the way down, which just gets rid of that and makes things look a bit more flat, which I also think you might want to tinker with putting the rim light on later, but for when you're putting the model together, it's probably best off starting without the rim light. We'll start with the face, so we can click on the Face tab, and using the scroll wheel, I'm just going to zoom in, have a look at the model. Now, we've got different facial presets here, so we can actually select one of these if we want to use the whole face or just use it as sort of a starting point. We can select the individual facial features and change those as we like, but also tweak their positioning at all as well. So I think we can select this one here. I quite like that. But there might be some changes that we will want to make. So we can also go to eye sets, which is the second option on the list here on the left, which gives you the option to change a whole eye shape, which includes the iris, so the colored part, the highlights, which is like the white bubbles and stuff on top of the eye. You've got the eyeliner and the eyelashes, and the general shape of the eye can all be changed at once, or you can change those elements individually as well. So we can do something like give it strange, more realistic eyes, or we can go ahead and select any of these so you can see it's changing the whole thing. So let's say I want to have this shape, but I want to change the irises or the highlights. I think we'll change both. So we can go then down to the irises section here and see the range of irises that are available. This is also where we can change the color of the eyes too. So let's say I would like to choose this one here. It's got like little sparkles. And maybe I want to change the highlights as well. So go to the highlights tab and we can click around and play with different options. I want a more reflective style, so I think we'll go with this option. Now, if I go back to the irises tab, we can change the color of the eye. So if you just go over to the right, you'll see a little colored circle and a dropper. You can use the dropper to select any color on the screen, or you can just click on the color, open it, and just change whatever you like using the color wheel. Give it some really blue eyes. Now you can change the colors individually as well if you wanted to have a character with heterochromia, but I'm going to keep it with both at the moment. Now we can also go to the eye highlights. You can change the color of the highlights, but most people will probably keep them white. But sometimes it might be cool to do like a pale version of the color that you have. So we can take the color drop and color drop the eye color and then make it like a light blue, sort of in the same tone. Not quite white, but it's not quite blue either. Next, we'll just check the other options in case there's anything else I might want to change. So we've got scleras, which you don't get many options. So the sclera is the white part of the eye. You've got more shadow, less shadow, or you've got really quite dark. This is where if you wanted to make like a demon or alien sort of character, this is where you would do it. You can do all sorts of. Next, we also have eyebrows. We can select anything here. Now, as you'll notice as well as we're going through these options, on the right underneath where you would select color, you also have parameters, which we can change in a whole list of every parameter for the face, or in these broken down categories, which is put them into the separate parts. So we've clicked on eyebrows, we've only got the parameters for eyebrows. We click on face sets, we get every parameter in one. Sometimes I like to pick all the different shapes and then go back to the face sets and edit everything at once, but you might want to tweak it as you go as well. So for eyebrows, we're going to go with something like, let's go with that. Pretty neutral eyebrows. And here is also where you would change the color of them as well. If you're going to do something like make them match the hair color, you could also color drop the hair color if you wanted, or you can just edit them here to be whatever you'd like. Now we have eyelids, which is just a small texture above the eyes. Some people get rid of this, some people keep it. I like to keep it if I'm doing a really basic model because I think it helps, but I personally like to draw my own, but this is a starting tutorial, so we won't have to do that. Now, if you change the overall skin color and body color of the character, you might also want to come here and change the color of things like the eyelids and the nose and the mouth to make them work with the skin tone better. Under eyeliner, we can go here and select any of these. Now, the eyeliner and the eyelashes do differ because the eyeliners are sitting on the skin layer itself. We can turn the head here. We can see that the eyeliner is like printed on. Even though there's lashes that are drawn onto the eyeliner, it's printed onto the face. It's very flat. If the character blinks, they'll stay pretty static and just follow the eyelid down. Whereas the lashes are 3D. We can see them off the side of the character's face. So the eyeliner, I'm gonna go with this one. And we can then also go, yeah, so we can change the color. This one seems to have the option to have like a different colored border. So we can do like a red border, but I like doing them totally black. And we can go to lashes and do sort of the same thing as well. So we've got some lashes here that have emphasis on the lower lash line, which you might want to do if your upper eyeliner already has lots of lashes, or you can just go crazy and add all the lashes you want. It's purely up to you. If we go to the nose, this is just going to be a piece of color on the nose here that is on the skin layer. There's some shading, so you might want to pick a different one. There's a little round one. You can kind of think back to if you have any favorite animes, how each one seems to draw noses a little bit differently. There's a few options. So there's these ones that are just highlight based. There's some that are more shadow. This one's got a defined line. Whatever you like. I'm just gonna go with this one with the shadow. Under mouth, we can also select a mouth type. This is not like a lipstick. This is the mouth line. This one here is more of like a cat shape. But I'm just gonna go with under mouth inside. Now we can't actually see them inside of the mouth, but if we go to the expression editor and we go to mouth fem, we can just open the mouth by doing like surprise or A. These are all the blend shapes for doing things later on for expressions. Now we have the mouth open, let's go back to mouth inside and we can see there's a bunch of presets. I'm gonna take the first one and I'll just go back, close the mouth. Okay, back to the lips now. So they have some very soft lipsticks and lip liners. Sorry, lip glosses. It's not really a well-lined look. Let's go with red or like more. That looks good. Obviously you can get to a point where you can draw your own as well, but this is just what VRoid is built in with. Go to cheeks. Now there's a few different things you can do for cheeks. Most of these are blushes, I think. Yeah, they all are very subtle blushes. So let's just amp up the color so you can see it better. For now, we can change the opacity. We've got this. We can see there's like basic blush. We've got the ones with sort of the lines, very stylized. More lines, larger area. I generally like this one because I like the blush coming up around the eyes. All right, so with that, just going to change the color. Be very subtle. Keep it a bit more in the red, like so it's warm. So blend it into this fancy. There we go. Got some blush. So if we go to the skin, this is where we can pick the overall skin tone. And you can custom edit textures and change the exact way that the skin looks, but we're just going to be using the color droppers for this basic tutorial. And we're going to be warming up the color tone. This may also be a good time where you might want to bring up a reference if you're doing it from a character, or even just some color picking codes that you can put in here. So we're doing the dark color right now, which is the shadow. Yeah. And also that one actually is editing the eyelid color, so that's good. Make it really quite defined. And light color is just for the highlights as well, which I don't think I have any on the face at this stage. We'll keep it like there. Under face paint, you have a bunch of extras you can add to your character. You've got like a little lip print, you've got like a scar, tired bags under the eyes, earrings, face paint. Now these don't have like a applying color option, but you can edit them in the texture editor if you really like. This one's like a large facial scar, little beard if you wanted one. Let's pick something. I think that's like an eye, like an eye glitter. Yeah, that's what that is. Like an eyeshadow. Take that. It's very subtle and quite nice. So now that I've done that, I like to go back to the face sets and sort of tweak any of the shapes that I want. I'd like my character to look a little bit more adult because I think right now she looks quite young. So for me, that would be elongating the face. We can have a look here. All you really got to do is play around with the options. Them face. So what does that do? If we decrease that, it sort of brings the hairline down and the eyebrows down and the mouth down, which I think is how they think this looks more masculine and this more feminine. I kind of like to take this back a little bit. They also have a masculine face slider, which you can do even more. Kind of like that, actually, dropping the eyes. Then brows. Drop the eyebrows a little bit. You can just make the chin bigger if you wanted. Really, you just have to mess around with it. Now, something you should also do is just play around with like the fun settings to see if any of that is something you want to add to your character. So we've got like ear stretch, which gives you more elfy ears. And ear prominence is currently set to 0, which makes the ears kind of jut out a bit. So I like to, that's the wrong way. I like to put them back a little bit, but also make them smaller. So there's an ear size slider, so bring it right down, make them rounder. But you can remove ears completely, which you might want to do if you're doing like cat ears. And actually, for the sake of this tutorial, let's do that. So we're going to make a cat girl. So we're going to take the ears away to maybe raise the cheekbones a little bit. Is that raising or sort of brings it out a little bit right there. And you can also give them like vampire teeth and things like that now, which you can also probably would want to make your character's mouth open if you're tinkering with these settings. So you can do your fangs and things like that here as well. But yeah, that's pretty basic. Now we're going to go along to the hairstyle. And remember, you can go back and edit any of these options at any time. With the hairstyle, we've got a few sections here on the left. So we've got base hair, extra, ahoge, I don't know if I said that right, side, extensions, overall hair, back and front, and hairstyle sets. So you can have basically hair pieces for every section, or you can pick a whole hairstyle, whatever you like. So these hairstyle sets are hairstyles that are made up of individual pieces, whereas the overall hair is like a hairstyle made up of one piece, which I know that might sound confusing, but you can mess with both options. So I quite like that option. Gives you a little space bun, but because we're making her like a cat girl, we'll probably want to cover where the ears were. If we do something like that, we can also maybe do a ponytail. I think having the hair down will look nice. Some straight hair as well. So even if you pick from the hairstyle sets, you could then go, I'd like to change the front of the hair, be more like shaggy or straight. We can do the back of the hair, give her some pigtails, make it short, whatever you want to do. There's a lot of options and combinations you can do. Let's do it like that. So we can also now go onto the side here where we can change the colors. Now you can pick whatever color you like. We might want to do something that is pink. And you see here that there's still like a yellow highlight here. You can make the highlight whatever color you want. I suggest if you're doing like a vibrant color, you might want to go white. I personally, I like turning the highlight off, and to do that very easily, you just switch it to black and the highlight goes away. But you might just want to like have a small one. So for this, we'll just keep a highlight there. Now we want to see how the hair moves before we move on. So if we go over to the photo button up in the top right, it'll open the photo editor. So we can see our characters here. We can see there's a bunch of options for our expressions and stuff. I like to turn off blinking and looking at the camera just in case I want to take photos. We'll go to poses and animation. And I like to just mess with the animations to make sure that the hair moves well. It might be a little bit laggy, but that's okay. So we can see that the hair comes rigged as a preset. So when she moves, the hair moves. It looks really, really nice. Okay, get out of that and go back to our editing. All right, so we have hair. We're pretty happy with that. Now we'll go to the outfit, and I'm just going to go to the top section and scroll all the way up and click on this one with the little circle on it to remove the top. I'm going to do the same with the bottoms as well. This is so we can edit the body more. Now we'll go over to the body, and here you can mess with the different proportions. We can see that she's currently also 160 centimeters tall, which we can edit. We can make her taller, shorter. We can change her proportions. I like to make them a little bit taller, but also then increase the arm length because we want the arms to come down to her fingertips come down to about here. I think I like to try and make them follow general proportion rules, including making the shoulders a little bit wider. We can increase the chest size. We can go arm length slightly. Waist width controls sort of the hips more than it does the waist. And make her thighs a little bit thicker. And I didn't take her shoes off, but that's okay. But sometimes I like to just try and make the feet match sort of like the width of the waist extensions, just so it doesn't look disproportionate. But I think these subtle changes are pretty good. Now we can go over to the outfit tab, which gives us a lot of pre-made options for everything. So it's similar to the hair, that there is full whole sets that you can put on your character, or there's individual pieces that you can also put on your character. So if we go over to the whole sets button, you can click here and see that there are a bunch of different themed sets, and VRoid is constantly updating to add more of these as well. So we've got things like this sort of cyberpunk military option. Got something a bit more fantasy, and this cute fairy outfit as well. Okay, that's not at all neutral, but it's very cute and also kind of matches her hair. You can change the tops as well, or bottoms, or dresses. The dresses can be different overall. Like we can put in a different dress but keep the arms and the shoes from other outfits. There's a few different options. Let's go to accessories. And again as well, you can tweak the clothes to change how they fit a little bit as well, but generally the defaults are pretty good. Let's add an accessory. So here you can add glasses. You can also add furry ears. So if we go to glasses, we can add some frames. So we can tinker with these as well to make them like thinner and different shapes. And we can also change their positioning. So if we go circle ones, lower this, go over here, maybe try and make them a little bit gold. And we can go here and change the bridge to be a little bit thinner. I want to make them sort of wireframe glasses. I think that looks pretty good. And let's go over now and add another accessory. We can add furry ears. We'll go to cat ears. And we can see we now have some cat ears on top of her head. Let's make the cat ears the same color as her hair to help them blend in. Now I like to add some fluff to them, some fur, because I think they look a little bit boring without them. So we can add some fur volume, which gives us these really cute little puffs of white hair. We can also change the sort of shape of the ears as well, so we can drop them and make them a little bit more cat-like, because I think when they start they're a little bit wolf-like. We can change the overall size, change the shape as well. You want to make, I don't know what sort of animal has ears that shape. And you can also, oh, it's maybe kind of koala-ish. Maybe. You can do all sorts of different things and change the fur volume to match as well. You can do like straight up foxy ears too. But I like the little cat ears like that. And these also have animation, so they'll wiggle when your head moves as well. So you can see we have this very basic model, and we can go to the look section here and play with some of these settings. So like I said at the start, we should turn room light off, and I just want to show you what it looks like with it on. It kind of just looks a bit strange, especially on the hair, because there's so many different strands. It just sort of captures the light in a really strange way. So we can go to shading and mess with the shading. Some people like to have no shading, so we can turn that off. But it can kind of look a little bit flat in this case if you haven't drawn your own shading on. So it could be a good idea to leave some on. We can see the shading under her neck and on her legs is back. Eye alignment, never really messed around with that. And outline, I'd say you can kind of mess with if you wanted a more cartoony look. We can add outlines all over the body. You can't change the color of the outlines on the clothes, except I think if you were to edit them in Unity, but you can change the outline color for the hair. So that's an option. But for this, we'll just switch it off as well. Okay, so that is the finished model. So now we'll go into the top right corner here and press on this up arrow coming out of a box. We can export it as a VRM file. You'll be able to load this into any software that uses a VRM, such as VC Face, which is what I'm currently using to VTube. Export, say like pink cat girl, created by Shell Bunny. Export. Okay, now I'll show you guys what it looks like. So here you can see the final model. This is loaded into VC Face. It does have some facial tracking and mouth tracking, but it's not as advanced as if you were to edit it custom in Unity. But if you're just starting out with the level that this tutorial is, it'll probably be a few weeks off until you feel comfortable doing all that editing. But it's actually a really good start, and VRoid has come a long way since its beta. So I hope you enjoyed this video, but let me know if you'd like to see more, and I can do more tutorials on how to get more in-depth into VRoid and making everything super custom. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this is informative. Bye for now.